contain so many Nazis. We've got the institution and whether rather the problems whether the institution could be much worse than I recently sort of described, or whether advancedly, whether indirect signal towards to Nazism, radicalism, extremism. It's why spread out the Westernist. This Romania became this, whether further became, whether later Nazism enhanced to being a anti-Hitlerist Nazism hub. These Westerners are quite so different. They have utterly without limitations. It keeps going this innocent, but that doesn't take responsibility. What's all this borderline? You notice the liberalism spruce to throughout the place. There's much of internal conflicts already sprouted, and it's already been much infiltrated. Per realism data out there, whether with bracket marks of whether reason, whether with bracket mark and whether bracket marks of and whether reason and whether of functionality and whether reason whether at functionality level of whether reason of whether of functionality level to probable of also will be of whether reason whether it's probable to be of whether at first whether reason there was within whether with bracket mark and whether bracket marks of tennis stars doing some. It's like a juggling game became advanced, and this is to equality 50-50 whether resemble, and these does resembles. It doesn't declare what it can do. Does the absolute hover are constant warring against us and are very hostile. If only for our spells it would have gotten worse. Did our spells and whether some teams, whether reason and whether groups and whether reason and whether first whether some groups activated and made it more, whether not to the desired effect, whether reason or not to the desired, whether reason or whether not, whether reason or whether minor, rather from whether reason or whether to the desired effects of whether reason or whether sort of resulted to somehow sort of ping pong ball bounce around, and whether ping pong or whether reason or bowling ball and whether reason or whether somehow whether reason there or whether bounced to reflected too much. Those every single word is overusing. It's not going to move. Nazis are going to remain there with the insolence, and when they don't do moves, they're actually trying to reduce our experience points. So the collection box of its abilities goes less and less. Hitler had to die for this nonsense. Europe has fallen. The latest immigrants are sort of a symptom. I'm glad the national leaders are helping us together, because what if this whole move, this revelation, and also the words exodus, and whether reason whether there's a, and whether reason or whether not, and whether reason or whether this revelation, and whether and this exodus, and whether reason or whether for instance, or whether reason or whether for instance, or whether reason or whether an example of the word, and whether reason or whether an example of the word exodus, and whether reason or whether and example, whether reason or whether and the example of the word, and whether reason or whether and whether example from whether reason or whether an example of word exodus is sort of a cult religion, whether a very advanced cult that resembles sort of finding some hidden moon somewhere. Sounds great, it's gracious and it's graceful, probably, right? It results to the murder of its own folks, their own parents and itself, and later whether also the person that generated got warped into it, also whether also resulted to the some tragedy, whether war also disposed itself of, whether reason or whether itself of. In the continuation with this storylines, and whether reason and whether minor, rather whether also and whether reason and whether minor, instead of the stories would result to the permanent transfer of the stuff to the opposites, and whether reason and whether to the teachers, or whether reason or for whether reason and whether as much of things sort of happened probably in order, but and whether reason and whether yes, or whether reason and whether if it happens that way, then this sort of happens, then that takes in place, then what are the ways to remove this Nazism? Whether reason or whether these Nazi entities of the whether reason or whether this Nazism entities then of whether recent, whether just, whether recent, and whether the word, and whether recent there, and whether the name of the word, and whether recent, and whether then, and whether recent there, whether there of then of, and whether recent there, and whether then thereof.